Hello there. Right, this is Nick, and you're with Outriders Gaming, and we're going to move straight on to game 2 of my Tolworth first founding Mayhem that I was at the weekend. This will be my Wood Elves versus James Hoy's High Elves. So here we go, into James's list and his deployment. We were right down on the bottom tables, by the way. So I had 3 tournament points. I think James had 1 or 2. So pretty grim for both of us. So it's going to be a pretty chilled out game. So here we go. On his far right, he had a unit of 10 archers. Then going in there, that big unit of non-painted stuff was a unit of white lions. Then a bolt thrower, a big block of spearmen with his BSB in there. Next to that is another unit of archers in the centre. Another bolt thrower, a unit of swordmasters, and it turns out they have the banner of sorcery. And then a unit of 10 archers with his level 4 on shadow, his level 2 on death, and a hero with the reaver bow, it turns out. Some umming and ahhing about spell selection at the start of the game. I got the impression that James doesn't play a lot of 8th. A lot of stuff he did during the game and the way he played and stuff he said made it pretty clear that he hasn't played much in 8th. As it is, before the game, he was having to rewrite his army list because he'd actually played with an illegal list in round 1. Basically, he didn't have enough core and stuff like that. Again, he had written a 7th edition list and not an 8th edition list, so there we go. And spell selection took a little while. I think at the end of the day, his level 4 had Occam's Mind Razor. He wasn't sure whether he wanted Pit of Shades or Penundral Pendulum, because he could choose. I pointed out that Pit of Shades was much better. So he had Pit of Shades, Pit of Shades, Occam's Mind Razor. He didn't take Miasma in the end because he wanted some of the more offensive ones, which I think was a big mistake. Miasma is brilliant for just one dicing and reducing my ballistic skill. He had the Enfeebling Foe and the Withering, if I remember. And Law of Death, he had the Leadership Snipe, and he had the Toughness Snipe. Toughness Snipe I wasn't too bothered about because it's such short range. Leadership Snipe could be a bother. And this is my deployment. Fur left, I have my Glade Riders, then my Dryads in a Wood, which turned out to cause them to be stupid, and that played no part in the game. Treeman, big unit of 18 with my Mage in it. I tend to do that quite a lot. And then the other Treeman there. I found putting my Treeman in the centres were very good for keeping them within BSB range and also just reacting to threats. But not particularly the centre of the table, but the centre of my deployment anyway. Now, I try not to make a habit of putting my level 4 in the big bunker and make a big target of it, but it's because I play James's Dwarves an awful lot and a lot of other shooting army, and I just get so annoyed in Unit of 12 when they get whittled down by other shooting and then just cannoned off when I don't have a lookout star anymore. So when it doesn't really make much of a difference at this start of the game, I just leave them there. Then all 3 units of Glade Guard, they're in the centre, with my Dryads out in a long line, so basically if he gets first turn, his shooting is going to be at -1 to hit pretty much all of my stuff. My 2 Eagles cowering behind that building to hide from the bolt throwers to, let's not give him easy kills. And Glade Riders on the far right. He gets first turn and pushes some stuff forward. Actually, only these 2 units, I think, to take advantage of that cover there in the centre. And this is me having vanguarded these guys. His magic phase, he doesn't really get anything off of any significance, doesn't snipe me, doesn't death magic me at all. And his archers shoot off one of my riders here. Oh, it looks like he did manage to get a couple of shots off from the archers onto one of my heroes, so there we go, a couple of wounds gone there. So, my turn. I move the cavalry to be on the side of that unit. I think I had the extra movement, and I didn't do it to get them all the way round because I figured he doesn't have musicians in there, he can't swift reform them. But it turns out I put them in a way that they could just pivot and shoot, which was stupid. But anyway, I pushed things forward a bit cagely because I think I've got the edge on him in shooting and stuff. And basically, I don't want to feed my treemen to the wood choppers that are the white lions. So there we go. Yeah, I've lost a few Glade Guard to some shooting. but they push forward overall. The Dryads try and get out of the way of my lines of shooting. So I'm basically going to go, as you can see, I'm going to ignore the stuff on the left, and because you put all 3 characters in only a small unit of 10 archers, I'm going to try and put as much shooting as I can into there. And here we go, I've pushed all my stuff out. My Eagle Noble is hiding behind his buddy Eagle Noble to get himself some cover from any shooting that's coming his way, because he's only got 2 wounds left. My riders are up in that wood. It turns out it's a stupid wood, but because my BSB's there I don't really care. And I'm just going to pump a load of shooting into his archers, which I do. So all the Glade Guard fire in, the Glade Riders, the 2 heroes can't shoot because they've marched. I was very good this tournament and remembered that independent characters can't cast. And here's the thing, he's only got he's got 1 archer left, so they're all still 1 unit. He fails his panic check, he's under 25%, so he's running and rallying on a double 1. Which I felt rather bad about, but there we go, that's the risk he put. It's only leadership 9, he was out of his BSB's range, and that's a lot of eggs in one basket. Oh, there we go, that's what, so it's the hero with the Reaver bow, sorry, that took 2 wounds off my tank noble, as it were. Because he was able to see him hits on stupid, because he's an elf, don't I know it, and there we go. But anyway, so, this is good for me, so no magic from him for a while, and he's on double 1s. So there we are, that's what the board looks like, and I've shot off a couple of archers as well. So his turn 2, he just turns his archers around and shoots off the unit of Glade Riders. Big mistake there. And he doesn't rally his Archmage, who has run in front of the BSB spear unit, which creates a bit of a jam there as well. So in my turn, I've pushed up the tree man around the side. I've charged the Dryads into the flank of those archers. And I've charged the Wild Riders into the flank of the Bolt Thrower, because he had decided to turn his Sword Masters round to try and counter that threat, so I just danced around him really. Bit of inexperience from there, just not realizing just how quick all that stuff on that flank was. So the Glade Riders have charged the Bolt Thrower. Also my Tree Man charged his fleeing unit with his Mage, who bounced through his BSB's unit. So now I've got them running towards the board edge, which is brilliant. And I push forward with the rest of my my troops. I've lost a couple of Dryads here and there to Bolt Throwers, but apart from that I'm pretty unscathed. Just an awesome action shot of Glade Guard about to shoot some shit up. And yeah, I pour a lot of shots into the Bolt Thrower and take the second Bolt Thrower off from shooting. Having done that, he passes his leadership check on the he passes his panic check on the White Lions, but then rolls a 10, followed by a 10 on his Nobles unit. Which, again, basically he could not pass a leadership check to save his life this game. I just felt really sorry for him. I mean, his inexperience showed in the way he placed a lot of the units. I think I played a pretty tight game this one, but I was helped massively by the fact that his leadership, he just couldn't roll a leadership check. He had a special pair of metal dice, which he used for all of his leadership checks, his special leadership check ones. Or no, just a lot of 2d6 stuff, so, you know, even when he needed to roll high, he used them, so I'm not saying that they were special, you know, dice in any way, shape or form. But anyway, this one, he didn't trust them anymore, so he used his regular dice, and no, still rolled a 10 followed by a 10. So his BSB's unit's running back away from my Eagle Riders. And unsurprisingly, the Dryads make short work of the archers. That Bolt Thrower is just dead there. But here we go. This is so. In my turn, I make short work of the Bolt Thrower. So that's my guys are there. But funnily enough, having said that, those are his 2 leadership metal dice. He just rolled boxcars with them. Don't know what he was rolling with them. I think running away with his guys. but then tries to rally his mage's unit, and does it, don't you know, he double ones it. Which was his one bit of good luck, I have to say. But at least he's not shooting with that Reaver bow at my two characters, which is a godsend. So his magic phase, he tries to cast. I don't know what he tries to cast. He wants to do something to take out, to ruin. I think he's trying to Pit of Shades my unit of cavalry. You know, just trying anything to get my troops off. And it's a small pit, short range. I think he needs an 11, and that's what he rolls on his 3 dice to try and cast it. He needed a 7 on 3 dice, and that's what he gets. Yeah, just things were not going his way in any way, shape, or form. So, anyway, in my turn, so his archers had fled from the Dryads and had rallied, but the Dryads are going back in. I've charged my... This is turn 3, by the way. I've charged my Treeman into his BSB's unit to try and take out the BSB. And my BSB's gone into his character unit. The other one, I don't think I've got a shot. Yes, I do. There we go. And this is the other side of the board. As you can see, my other Eagle Noble is flying back towards the mage to try and get healed up a little bit. So yeah, and I'm just basically trying to surround the Swordmaster unit with a fuck ton of shooting. But that little double wall there is really saving his bacon from the shooting, but there we go. But anyway, magic. Between magic and my shooting, I get Dwellers off on his unit of Swordmasters. Pum 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 pum. He's got 9 left, and they fail their panic check and run away behind my Glade Riders. The Dryads have made short work on that flank of the archers. The Treeman has smacked his BSB in the face and is now just grinding away against the Spearman. And in that combat he had challenged out with his Reaver Bow Noble, who may have done a wound on me, but I killed him, so there we go. And he's basically now moving up his white lines to try and get something out of it to go towards. Basically, I think he wanted to go and try and get a unit of archers and get some points there, which was a very silly mistake, because even with a 3-up save against shooting, when you're walking into short range of that many Wood Elf archers, nothing's going to stand up for long. So, in his magic phase, yeah, so I charged in my turn, he held... So this is his turn. He gets the Enfeebling Foe off on my guy, but only drops his strength by 1. So I'm still strength 3, so I'm still winning on 4s, and not much. None of this has a save, so I don't really mind that much. And there we are in combat. I think he challenges with his level 2 mage, which we were talking after the game, which was a silly mistake. He should have challenged with his level 4. The reason being that his level 4 is a 4-up ward, so yes, he's putting up more points in challenge, but it's better protected points. As it was, I was able to just get 2 or 3 wounds in the challenge against his level 2 mage. Between that and my banner, he just fled, and I caught him. Yeah, so at this time I've bailed my... so this is what the centre of the board looks like. I've just got stuff flying around in the backboard. My mage has bailed out of the big unit, got out the light sights white lions because he's got nothing that can take him out, so he might as well be by himself, just to avoid, just in case I don't quite take out the white lions and they get into my units. And also, I've started trying to heal up my other eagle just for the fun of it. So, on the far right, as you can see, so his Swordmasters, what with fleeing through my unit, they lost another one to difficult terrain, but what it meant was they were no longer protected by the wall from a couple of unit of Glade Guards, which are out of shot, but at the bottom right in this picture. But anyway, so I keep moving up with my Treeman to try and take care of him. I couldn't charge him because he was out of my line of sight, so I keep whittling away at that, and all it took was my my Strangle Root, and I took them out. So I got quite lucky on my Strangle Root there. And that's the centre of the board. After I've moved stuff back forward, At long range, I was still at long range in the last shooting phase, so I couldn't do much to him. He tried a long bomb charge against my big unit, who had fled. So this is my turn. My big unit has rallied, and I've pushed up with the rest of my stuff to try and shoot him. He had to let Throne of Vines through, and I pushed through a Dwellers below in this phase as well. So I Dwellersed his. It was a short range Dwellers on his white lines. Took some off, and then the rest of my shooting went in. It was only 24 at short range, but between that and the rest, the white lines are gone, and you can see my treeman had whittled down the spearmen to about 5, and I was able to rear charge them with the Dryads in this, my last turn. And there we go. And so, yeah. So it ended up with me tabling him completely. He had nothing left, and the only thing he'd killed of mine was a unit of fast cav. So there we go. That was I think I was one of the few. Only a couple of people managed 20-0 in the tournament, because it was very difficult to do. But you know, this is not down to any absolute tactical prowess of mine. I was up against an inexperienced opponent who got awful luck on his dice, and anyway, especially with his army list, it was an incredibly bad matchup for him. So there we go. That was so game 2. After game 2, I'm sitting on 23 points. So I'm above the you know, I've got more than 20 points already out of 40, so I'm happy with that. I was hoping to do a bit better, but you know, it is good to see how to play with my units, especially the ones I'm not used to, and seeing how they go. So there we go. I was quite happy with that. And any comments, leave them, and I'll try and get back to you. And I'll see you for game 3.